You've probably heard the term brain drain, right? The idea that the best and brightest pack their bags and leave home for greener pastures. But what if the biggest reason for that isn't just a bigger paycheck? What if it's about something way deeper, like a global monopoly on ideas? Today, we're digging into the hidden engine that's really driving the global talent drain.
Yeah, this question, it's a huge deal. It's at the very heart of a global movement that shapes entire economies and, of course, changes millions of lives. And the answer, as we're about to see, goes way deeper than just chasing a better salary. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to look at the sheer scale of the talent drain. Then we'll uncover the monopoly that's really pulling the strings. After that, we'll explore a really strange population paradox that all this creates and reveal the hidden problem of brain waste. And finally, we'll see how some countries are starting to flip the whole script.
All right, let's get right into it. When we talk about skilled people moving around the world, it's not a random shuffle. Not at all. It's more like a powerful, one-way current of human talent.
I mean, just look at this concentration. It's pretty staggering. The United States alone pulls in over a third of all skilled migrants. And when you add the UK, Canada, and Australia to the mix, you're looking at the vast majority of global talent heading to just a few English-speaking countries.
Let that number sink in for a second. 70%. This isn't some balanced exchange program. It's a powerful force, like a gravitational pull, drawing talent in one specific direction. So you gotta ask yourself, what's the magnet? Well, that brings us to the real heart of the matter. The argument here is that the main cause isn't just about better salaries or a different lifestyle. It's about something much more fundamental. Who gets to control the creation of new ideas and new technology?
Now, to really get this, there's a key concept we need to understand called productive forces. It sounds a bit academic, I know, but stick with me. All it really means is a country's engine for innovation, its ability to mix science, tech, and smarts to create something new and valuable.
And right there, that's where you see this massive global divide. You've basically got a small club of nations that have a monopoly on creating these productive forces. They're the ones designing the cutting-edge tech. Everyone else? Well, they become dependent. They have to import that know-how just to build their own economies. Okay, so a monopoly on ideas. That sounds pretty abstract, right? How in the world does that actually cause millions of people to pack up their entire lives and move halfway across the planet? Well, it creates a massive imbalance in the job market.
And that imbalance leads to what our source material calls the population paradox. You see, because of that innovation gap we just talked about, you get these two completely opposite pressures happening in different parts of the world, all at the same time.
Here's how it plays out. The countries that control innovation are like furnaces that constantly need more fuel, and that fuel is skilled people. At the exact same time, other nations are training all these brilliant engineers and scientists, but they just don't have enough high-tech jobs to give them. So you end up with this huge global reserve army of talent. And migration, it basically becomes the pipeline that connects that surplus of talent to the places that are desperate for it. It's a release valve.
But hold on, the story isn't that simple. You might think this is a clear win for the countries getting the talent and a clear loss for the countries that are losing it. But the reality is way more complicated and, to be honest, incredibly wasteful.
60.9%. Just let that number hang in the air for a moment. What on earth could that be? Well, it turns out it's the shocking, hidden price tag of this whole system. This is something called brain waste, and it's exactly what it sounds like. A huge chunk of these skilled migrants end up in jobs where they can't actually use their degrees or their training. Think of the classic story of the engineer driving a cab or the doctor working a job that doesn't need a medical degree. The home country loses their talent, and the host country fails to even use it properly. It's a lose-lose situation.
So, is that it? Is this just how the world works forever? Is brain drain just a fact of life? Well, not at all. Some countries are starting to rewrite the rules by tackling the problem where it starts, at that monopoly on innovation.
Take a look at this. In China, over a third of all university students are studying engineering. Now compare that to just 5% in the US. That is a massive difference, and it is not an accident. It's a deliberate, strategic choice to build up their own domestic productive forces, that power to innovate we talked about earlier.
And this is the new playbook. It starts with the government pouring money into science and tech. That builds the country's own innovation engine, which creates those high-value jobs at home. Then they create brain gain policies to actively recruit their own talented citizens back from other countries. The whole goal is to turn the one-way street of brain drain into a two-way superhighway of brain circulation.
And the results? They can be absolutely profound. Countries that used to be major exporters of talent can get to a point where they not only keep their best and brightest at home, but the people who do choose to leave are no longer the absolute top of the class. It's a total reversal of the classic brain drain story.
So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Brain drain isn't the real disease. It's a symptom. It's the fever that tells you there's a much deeper, more fundamental imbalance in who has the power to create, own, and profit from innovation across the globe.
And that leaves us with the big question for the future. As we see this balance of innovation start to shift around the world, does that mean brain drain will finally come to an end? Or will we just see those powerful currents of human talent change course and start flowing in new and maybe even unpredictable directions?